Well, pick me up where golden hand. Oh, Bethsaida, oh, Bethsaida, you run. Nobody say, nobody on. Well, I would like to hold my little hand. How you better cry, how you better cry. I would like to hold my little hand. How you better cry, how you better cry. Send me in my way, 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 send me in my way. Reach out my hand, oh, me say, oh, me tell you to run. All the way, nobody say, nobody else.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life was old then, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Real rude and cold, a little mood and I can act like an imbecile. I say, we can dance, everything's out of control. We can dance, we're doing it from pole to pole. We can dance, everybody look at your hands. We can dance, everybody's taking the chance. Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. I say, we can dance, everything's out of control. But we can dance, doing it from pole to pole. But we can dance, everybody look at your hands. But we can dance, everybody's taking a chance. Oh, it's safe to dance, yes, it's safe to dance. Oh, it's safe to dance. Oh, it's safe to dance.
Hello, everybody, and welcome along to this, the first of 4 Nations Cup competitions that we're going to enjoy with you live here from this fabulous venue. We are with you in Drammen, and this is the Gilstein Arena for the FEI Youth Nations Cup, and 3 teams coming forward in this, the pony competition, the first of the 4 Nations Cup classes. We will see 3 today, 1 tomorrow, and Norway, Sweden and Denmark are all together in terms of teams of 4 in this opening round of jumping. Time allowed is set at 92 seconds, and it is Norway drawn first. Norway, then Sweden, then Denmark. And as you can see, the first is just out there having a little look around at this track. We have a beautiful course laid out, combination coming at 6A, B and C, double a little earlier than that at 4A and B, 12 numbered fences in total. First to go is a young jockey who jumped with this pony, in fact, to the Pony Europeans last year. This is Julia Arabotsky riding Shannon's Joy. Going to give us the first indication of just how this course is going to play out. Starting off over the upright. And then after the parallel there, coming on this long loop round to fence number 3. Just sitting back, holding into the double. Fence 5 coming up quite quickly off the corner. And setting up for the combination here. Upright, parallel, upright. 1 stride, 1 stride. Tremendous start so far. Looking to really get the Norwegian team underway with a big round of jumping here. Julie Hadabutsky, Shannon's Joy, this lovely little grey gelding. Water jump, taking them down to what is the final fence on the course. Oh, got away for a little bit of a touch on the pole. But what a great start. He get the clear right from the beginning. Julie there goes clear on Shannon's Joy. And what a brilliant start that is for the Norwegian team. It'll certainly just take a little bit of pressure off. She'll be able to give some good feedback as well to her teammates that are coming in those next rotations. We'll always talk about best potential outcome. Well, for obvious reasons, it is clear they'll be looking for. Now, on we go to the next to come forward, and this is the first of the team from Sweden. This is Tuvali Onneberg riding Galliano. Jumped here in the Ponies and Drammen back at the start of May. That CSI pony event, they in fact finished 5th in the Grand Prix. So they've got good form, good record here. What a good international outing in Copenhagen last year. Still relatively new to the international scene, but plenty of talent, and at the moment plenty to be happy about with the way this round is going. Tiny little roll in the middle. Into this long line that takes them all the way back across the arena. They get the upright set up for the water. Brilliant. Whatever Norway can do, Sweden can do as well, because Duvalier, Romberg there, Galliano going clear. They're all getting round safely inside the time allowed. They're not worrying about that in any way, shape or form. So it's a clear for Sweden's first. It was a clear for Norway's first. Now to the third of the teams involved. It is Denmark. And Laura Sargent will look to try and follow suit here with Foxtown Elderberry. He's to part of the team that finished 5th in those Pony Europeans last year in Poland. And there's the first fault, sadly, with that fence going down into the double. He jumped very well in Compiègne back in April. They've got a good record here normally in Drammen. They had a win last year. Trying to keep it on the 4. Now the border's gone up. There was a foot in the water. Impossible to see from our angle, but certainly seen from the angle that the judges stood right beside it. So sadly, that doubles the penalty mark, and it becomes a score of 8 there for Laura Sargent. Nevertheless, the team for the moment will remain on a best potential outcome of 0, just putting a little bit more pressure on the final 3 to go. So that concludes the opening rotation of riders, and now we move back to the Norwegian pony team. This is Lina Rovida Aramos de Fossenes riding Touchy Subject. Another part of the European Championship team in Poland last year for Norway. A good run of results in that Pony International here back in early May, but sadly that has gone down. Now just trying to keep it on the 4. Keeping the balance down to the last, popping over that, and 4 it is as a final score. So that is the second rider to go for the Norwegian team, the first in this second rotation of riders. Touchy Subject and Liena there Still, though, the team could yet finish on a score of 0 because at the moment they'll hold the 4 as a discard. Now to the second to go for Sweden. Sverre Eriksson Stablis riding here with Kiltoma Buckfast. With Irish sports horse, this mare. Jumped in the Pony International classes and sent out back at the end of March. Jumped well here in Drammen last year. We were on the Nations Cup team 12 months ago for the Ponies. The clear round now, inevitably, would just give Sweden perhaps that sort of early advantage. Nations Cup jumping, whether it be Ponies or 5-star, it really always ends up being a little bit of a game of snakes and ladders, as I've said before, because you can start to think you're getting a bit of an advantage, and then in the space of a round, things can really flip. Just never sure until you get into that final round of riders how it's all going to go. But you want to get off to a strong start, and Sweden have certainly done it, because now that is their second clear. 2 zeros from 2 riders. Zwerg and Stablis there finishing off on Kiltoma Buckfast. So 2 gone, 2 clear for Sweden. Now, of course, Norway with a clear and a 4. And now the pressure round, the first of them for Denmark, with 8 from their opening rider. They'll look to keep that as a discard. They could yet still finish this opening round on a 0 score, but they now need clear rounds. Paula Sophie Grajansen Christensen riding Ponies does Avelins is the rider. Jumped on the Youth International in Compiègne. Put in some good performances there, including finishing second on this horse in one of those Pony International classes. We've had a few international pony outings already this year. Spent some time down in Spain as well. To keep her leg on coming to the water. She rode that really, really well, and this is exactly what the team needed from their second rider. It is a lovely clear for Denmark, and it puts them very much back in the hunt. It means they don't drop off the pace. After 2 riders from all 3 teams, they could all yet get to the end of this opening round on a 0 score. But Sweden perhaps with the advantage in there, with the 2 riders clear. Norway with a clear and a 4, the 4 being the discard at the moment. Their third rider is Andrea Severigia Christiansen riding Telflaf Bonso. Off and running. These 2 part of a winning team here last year. Already been in the top 8 in 2 Grand Prix here in Drammen in 2023. Again, riding very well, just making sure the horse, or I should say the pony, keeping forward, keeping concentrated, just putting their leg on. And that, sadly, will be a counting fence. Now, we're already holding a 4 as the discard. They're going to have to count 1, but this will now certainly become the discard mark, because that stop will bring the mark up to 8, and the time allowed is 90 seconds, so there's still every chance that she can jump in on the second attempt. No, now that is a surprise. So that is elimination.
And the rider is eliminated.
So, the Norwegian team losing their third rider, therefore counting the 4 from their second rider, Liena. They've got the clear from Julie, but their final riders now is a mark they will have to use, whatever it is. All scores going to count there for Norway. So difficult moments. Now the chance, though, for Sweden to put the opening round to bed with 3 riders out of 4, because 2 clears on the board. Viggo Bertrand now looking to follow suit. So this is Goaf Maralad. Jumped this pony down in Italy back in April. Rode there on the Nations Cup team for Sweden. Well, now that has gone. So, for the moment, it means Sweden still, as we know, could yet finish on a 0, but they now will certainly need the round from their final rider. Still, though, in a strong position, the Swedish pony team here. For the score, and that is Viggo Bertrand and Goaf Maralad. So that will be held as it stands for Sweden as the discard mark. But now we move on to the final rider in this third rotation. The team for Denmark's Malu Marsona Herksen are riding here with Beachmount Romeo. Greg Gelding. They, at the moment, holding a discard score of 8. So any fences that go down here for Maru will count. They've had a clear. Could yet finish on 0 if they can get clears from this team and the next rider. Plenty of people watching, and at the moment, this young jockey performing. Down towards the water, it's caught 1 or 2. Not, threw them right forward in the saddle. The hand has got up. 4 is recorded. And they were so close to the end, but Manu there has sadly picked up that 4 penalty score right towards the end of the track at the water jump. And that means that the team for Denmark are now, just like Norway, on a best potential outcome of 4. But it is now into the final rotation of riders, the final rider from each of the 3 teams in this first round, because the second round to come in a short while. But we're back therefore with Norway. Now this a round that counts because they've had the elimination, a clear and a 4, putting the team at best on 4. The pressure now with their anchor rider, Josephine Marie Huckeland, riding Sondervrang's Colorado. A lovely win with this pony here just a few weeks ago. Also finished second in the Grand Prix at the start of May. But that fence going down counts. Balancing the pony up on the corner. Really trying to pick out her stride. Well, jumping the last. Oh, has the foot got in the water? It has. So that becomes a score of 8 for Josephine and Sodarangs Colorado. And it ensures that the Norwegian team will finish on a final score in round 1 of 12. They count the clear the 4 and the 8 to finish on 12. So Sweden have got a chance, though, to finish on a 0 score, ensure they're top of the pile. At worst, they're going to finish on 4. Their last rider is set to go. This is Nika Sunderström riding Misha Riot. And the first fence has gone down. Unbelievable for the Swedish team that started off with the 2 clears. It means that they will finish round 1 on a score of 4. That puts Denmark in play, who will go last. If they can get a clear from their final rider, they will also finish on a score of 4, and we'll get 2 teams level going into round 2. Either way, it keeps things tight. There'll only be 2 fences between Sweden and Norway, and with fences falling just like that, you never know what will happen. Ponies jumping a height of 1.30 m in this Pony Nations Cup. And that is a foot in the water. It really has caught out a few of the combinations. So 8 is the score. That will be the discard. And Sweden, as I mentioned, will therefore wrap up on a score of 4 with their 2 clears and a 4 being the counting mark. But that was Nika Sunderström riding Misha Riot. So it means we move to the final rider in this opening round, and it is for the Danish team. They are holding an 8 penalty score as a discard, with the clear and the 4 counting. Olivia Dressler riding Yasmin's Holly has the chance to give Denmark a share of the lead going into the second round. But they need the clear. At worst, the team can finish on a score of 12, which would put them level with Norway. But they want more. A lovely forward flowing rhythm to this round, really riding beautifully at the moment, just letting the fences come to them. Jumps the last, jumps it clear, and that is a superb round there for the team from Denmark, from Olivia Dressler and Yasmin's Holly, because they finish the opening round also on a score of 4, just like Sweden, which means 2 teams dead level going into the second round. Norway sitting just behind them, only 2 fences away. So there is plenty to play for when we get set for round number 2.
Og da skal vi ha en rytter utenom Nations Cupen, og det for Danmark, Isabel Victoria Frost Jensen og Aldo.
Well, now we're going to just leave you watching the individuals, because of course between rounds this is where we see the individual riders, or the individual rider I should say, and this is Isabel Victoria Frost Jensen. This not part of the Nations Cup, the individual. As I said, that was jumping as an individual, so not part of the Nations Cup competition. So, at the end of the opening round, as I said, it is Sweden and Denmark tied at the top, both on a score of 4, and Norway on 12, certainly not out of the hunt. We're going to take a break as we get set for the second round, which gets underway at 12:45 local time. So in around about 30 minutes, we'll be back with you for the second round of the CSIOP, the Pony Nations Cup.
a whisper, and that was when I kissed her, and then she made my lips hurt. I could hear the chit chat, take me to your love shack. Mama's always got a backtrack when everybody talks back. Hey honey, you could be my drug, you could be my new prescription. Too much can be an overdose, all this trash talk make me itchy. Oh my shit, everybody talks too much. It started with a whisper, and that was when I kissed her, and then she made my lips hurt. I could hear the chit chat, take me to your love shack. Mama's always got a backtrack when everybody talks back. Never thought I'd live to see the day when everybody's words got in the way. Hey sugar, show me all your love, all you're giving me is fiction. Hey sugar, what you gotta say? It started with a whisper, and that was when I kissed her, and then she made my lips hurt. I could hear the chit chat, take me to your love shack. Mama's always got a backtrack when everybody talks back. Everybody talks, everybody talks, everybody talks, everybody talks, everybody talks, everybody talks back. We started with a whisper, and that was when I kissed her. Everybody talks, everybody talks back. One, two, three, four. Tell me that you love me more. Sleepless, long nights, eyes with my use for. Oh, teenage hopes were lying at your door. Left you in nothing, but they want some more. You know who you are, sweetheart, bit hard now, can't tell you apart. Cozy and cold, put the horse before the cart. Those teenage hopes and tears in their eyes, too scared to run out to one little life. Changing his heart, you know who you are.
Got my first real six string, blowing out the five and dime. Played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of '69. Me and some guys from school had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Jody got married. Should've known we'd never get far. Oh, when I look back now, the sun seems I'm next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. If I heaver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's heavering to you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm walking, 'cause I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you. When the money comes in for the work I do, I'll pass almost every penny on to you. When I come home, oh, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home to you. If I broke, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's going over you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home with you. I'm gonna be the man who's coming home with you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. And I would do anything for love. I'd run right into hell and back. I would do anything for love. I'll never lie to you, and that's a fact. But I'll never forget the way you feel right now. Oh no. No way, and I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, I won't do that. And some days it don't come easy, and some days it don't come hard. Some days it don't come at all, and these are the days that never end. And some nights you're breathing fire, and some nights you're carved in ice. Some nights are like nothing I've ever seen before. Will again, and maybe I'm crazy, oh it's crazy and it's true. Some days I pray for silence, and some days I pray for soul. Some days I just pray to the God of sex and drums and rock and roll. And maybe I'm lonely, that's all I'm qualified to be. That's just one and only promise I can keep. As long as the wheels are turning, as long as the fires are burning, as long as your prayers are coming true, you better believe it, that I will do anything for love. And you know it's true, and that's a fact. I will do anything for love. There'll never be no turning back. I'll never do it better than I do it with you. So long, so long. I would do anything for love. Oh, I would do anything for love. I would do anything for love. But I won't do that. No, 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 I won't do that. Will you raise me up? Will you help me down? Will you get me right out of this God-forsaken town? Will you make it all a little less cold? I can do that. Oh, no, I can do that. To every fantasy I got. Will you hold me down with holy water? If I get too hot, will you take me places I've never known? Now I can do that. Oh, no,
Well, welcome back, everybody, and it's time for the deciding and final round of this Nations Cup competition for the Ponies that has seen 3 teams battling it out, and 2 of those teams, Sweden and Denmark, tied level at the top, both on a score of 4 after the opening round of jumping. Norway are in there as well. Do not count them out, because they're only 2 fences back on a mark of 12 after the opening round. You never know what will happen. But let's look forward to watching it unfold together. Norway will go first with Juliana Sky, Shannon's Joy. Pony European Championships for them last year, and they started things off for Norway with a brilliant clear round in that opening round. If they could do the same again, it would certainly help the Norwegian team in round number 2. Just looks like there's going to be a little bit of a pause because they're just taking out some additional elements to the course. I think they're just putting a few sandbags on some of the feet just to make sure that nothing gets caught in the breeze. You can see the judge just walking out to the water as well. But then we'll be underway. This track 12 fences finishes, in fact, on the line we're looking at the moment. 10 down to the water at 11. And then the parallel in the distance is fence number 12. The double there across the middle coming quite early at 4A and B. Time allowed remains at 92 seconds. Course, if we get a tie for the top slot, like we do at the moment at the end of the next round, or end of this round, then there would, in fact, be a jump off. But we'll see what and if that looks possible when we get a little bit closer. So Julie Adabot-Sky going to go first.
Second is Sweden, and also on third is Denmark.
So just seeing, they are just having to take a few minutes out there just to put some weight down on a couple of the fences. I think they just want to double check a couple of bits. And there's the second pony already in as well. Quite a long hold, all things considered. You can see the rider out there just keeping the pony moving, just riding around in circles. Ponies have come in absolutely on time to get this started, but there were just a couple of other elements that needed to be sorted out first. A little bit later today we'll be bringing you action from 2 other Nations Cup competitions, because we've also got juniors and young riders and children here over the next sort of day and a half. 2 more Nations Cups to come a little later today, and then tomorrow we'll bring you the 4th and final Nations Cup from this Youth International here in Drammen.
Sorry for the little break, but we have to secure the fences so they don't fall down while you're riding.
Well, listening into the arena commentator there, you're picking up on exactly what we predicted, which is that they are just having to pin together a few different elements, making sure the fences are stable and secured.
Da er vi klare til å starte runde 2 av Nations Cupen. We're ready to start the Nations Cup.
Well, that's good news. They're all set, they're all sorted, and we're all good to go with Julie Adabot-Sky and Shannon's Joy. So Norway, as they were in the opening round, go first in this round, but coming from 3rd place and trying to stabilise the score on 12 as a team, starting out in the 2nd round. As this little grey gelding gets us started by Shannon Prince. Shannon's Joy coming round the corner towards this opening upright. Round we go, left-handed. Down to the combination, upright, one stride parallel, one stride upright out. Jumping very confidently. 92 seconds. Time allowed was no bother in the opening round. Now the final line of fences. Upright down to the water jump and then the parallel to finish. Great performance from those two over the course of this Nations Cup competition. Julia Rodskaya there, Shannon's Joy, double clear. And all importantly, starting then Norway off on the front foot.
Number 2.
Well, Sweden started off on the front foot with their two riders at the front of their team going clear in round 1. Their opening rider also looking therefore for a double clear is Tuva Lee Orenberg riding Galliano. Still putting in a very strong performance. Nice stride in and then very balanced through the combination. She just lost her balance a little bit there. She was just having to play somewhat, just trying to keep the horse underneath her or keep the pony underneath her coming there towards fence number 9. So that is a score of 4 for Tuva Lee Orenberg and Galliano. So not the double clear. It is a score of 4 for Sweden's first to go.
Number 3 for Denmark, number 3 for Denmark. Laura Sargent.
Now we move on to Denmark. So they have the opportunity to perhaps sort of put a bit of pressure on. The opening combination, though, was the discard in the opening round. Laura Sargent rides Foxtown Eldebris. They scored 8 in round 1, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. Lovely little Dungelding, Foxtown Eldebris. So far, so good. This would be a big start for Denmark if they can take the combination that was the discard in round 1 and start with a clear in round 2, and that they've done. Superb performance from Laura Sargent, recovers from the 8 in round 1 to put together a clear round, and Denmark will be delighted with the way that has gone. So they'll be an exceptionally happy squad starting things off with a clear. So that is the opening rotation of riders, 3 teams. Now we move on to the second rider in each of the teams. Back then with Norway. And this is Liano Virir Armont de Forest riding touchy subject. 4 was the score from the opening round. Just a little bit of a tap and roll, but it stays up at fence number 3. This could be the sort of performance that brings Norway. Oh no, speak too soon. Well, the bell goes because there's going to be a rebuild. 6 seconds will get added into the clock. It is 4 for the stop. Now, the time allowed is generous enough that they should be okay, even with the 6 seconds added in, not to have to worry about picking up time penalties. They need to try to keep it on 4. They're going to certainly now be happy that they got a clear from their opening rider, because they can use this as a discard. Still at the moment, finish where they started. So Liena there is the second to go. She finishing on that score of 4. So the team could still yet finish on a score of 12.
Da skal vi ha number 5 for Sweden, for Sverige, Svea Eriksson Ståblis.
Now Sweden. Now they have started off with a score of 4 from their opening rider. Sweden, who clears in that opening round. This was the second of them. Svea Eriksson Ståblis riding Kultorma Buckfast. And they just had the first fence down. No, surely not. No, it's still up. The camera just moving on very quickly as it panned, and saw a little glint of something moving. Yes, they have had the first fence down. It does come up on the scorecard. Well, the 2 clears from Sweden in the opening round, faulting in round 2, where the others are at the moment putting the pressure on. Jumps the water nicely, but it means that Sweden are going to have to count 1. Oh, and the last is gone. The last has gone as well. So the 8 that in fact holds as a discard for the moment, but it means they're going to have to count the 4 from Tuvelia Onenberg, their first rider. It moves Sweden on to a best potential outcome of 8. It now means that Norway only 1 fence behind Sweden, and it gives Denmark, who go next, the opportunity to take the lead outright if they can get a clear here from Palmer, Sophie Gray Jansen Christensen and Bodies des Avelins. These 2 in the opening round were one of the 2 clear rounds for the Danish team. Denmark already with a clear round recorded. No trouble at the water. No trouble at the last. Denmark will take the outright lead in this Pony Nations Cup because that clear round from Palma and Ponies to Zavalines ensuring that the team have 2 clears so far in round 2 and could at the moment still finish on the 4 that they started this round on. They've got 2 good combinations to go. So Norway next up. We move into the 3rd rider of each of the teams, the 3rd rotation now. Now this is André Seri Christensen, Teres Bonosso. They had issues at the water in that opening round and sadly were eliminated there. Now, at the moment, Norway 1 fence behind the Swedish team, still within 2 of the lead, but they need this combination to sort of recover their form. They're holding on to a 4 as a discard, which is no longer being held as a discard because now we're already up to 8. That means Norway as a team move on to a score of 16. Best potential outcome. They'll need a clear, though, from their last rider to finish on that. And it's just getting harder and harder, sadly, for André and for Teres Bonosso. They not having a good day. Gives the pony a pat, though. Not quite worked out like normal. Everyone's allowed an off day, but just giving the pony a little pat, saying, look, don't panic, don't worry. All will be okay. We'll just keep our calm, take a moment, and we'll look again. Course designers, course builders, arena team, just putting everything back together again over at the combination. And there's the bell to say that everything is set and ready to go once more, so we restart. Doesn't want to jump through the middle part of the combination, so they'll leave it there. That is, again, elimination. Difficult day in the arena for André, but just not working out. That moves the Norwegian team, as I mentioned, onto a team score of 16.
The team of Norway to come to the jury box, please.
That way, now just dropping back a little further. Next up, we have Sweden. Sweden's 3rd rider is Viggo Westergrand, riding Goaf Mira Lad. 4 in the opening round was a counting score. They could really do with a clear to keep the pressure on Denmark, that are 1 clear rounder away from winning this outright today on their own. It's already at that stage. We really are now at the business end, and that has gone. Well, that first fence catches out 2 of the Swedish riders in a row, and that means that the Swedish team now move on to a score of 12. They're holding an 8 as a discard, so if they can keep this to a 4 full round, it will just be the 12, otherwise it'll suddenly become 16, and Denmark, who will go next with their 3rd rider, already in a position to win this. We will see what happens. So around they come. Just needs enough leg on coming down to the water. Jumps that. First fence is what cost them, and it could be an expensive moment. Viggo Westergrand and Goaf Mira Lad finishing on 4. They
Sweden
pick
for
up 4 in
Sverige og
each
Viking.
round, but it is this round there for Sweden now on a score of 12, which means as we move to
Nummer 9 for
Denmark,
Danmark, number 9 for Denmark,
with
Malou
2
Louis,
clears
Sol
already, 2 to
Henriksen,
go,
Bechmann to Romeo.
a clear round or a round for 4, basically keep it so you keep it on clear or 4, and it is an outright win for Denmark with Malu Mai Sonnen Henriksen here in the ring on Beach Mount Romeo. Tiny little tap at fence 3. Gets through the double. These two did get a 4 penalty score in the opening round. Even repeating that would be enough, because it would ensure that the worst score that Denmark could finish on would be 8, and the best anyone else can do is 12. At the moment, though, they're going to try and win it with 3 clears from their first 3 riders. It'll mean Olivia Dressler, who will be the 4th rider, wouldn't even have to jump. Oh, again gets a little tap. Jumps the water, comes towards the last to try to win this for Denmark, and Denmark win it. Superb. There we go. She knows exactly what it means. She's done it for Denmark.
Zero faults, null feil.
It's a clear round from Melu Miles Henriksen, and it's 3 clears from 3 riders. Denmark finish on a score of 4, whatever happens, and that is superb. They do it in 3. We'll see perhaps Olivia Dressler come back just to jump the round, but there isn't any need in terms of the competition. So now it'll eyes focus on what Norway and Sweden will do to decide the other 2 steps of the podium. Norway have their final rider here. This is Josephine Marie Huckland and Sonnen Varang's Colorado. They picked up 8 in the opening round, now back in round 2. The team on a score of 6. Just the 4, which is good enough for the Swedish team to finish in second place here today in this Pony Nations Cup. It is, though, a fabulous performance from the Danish team that sees them come out on top. Well, there's the bell. So Olivia Dressler is going to jump. Didn't see her in the ring, but nevertheless, the poles are up. And Yasmin's Holly is due to go next. Although she doesn't need to jump, so I don't think she is in the ring because our camera would have picked her up. So, well done to Denmark, to Laura Sargent, Palmer, Sophie Göring-Jansen, Christensen, to Malu, Mai, Sean Henriksen, and Olivia Dressler, who jumped the clear in the opening round. It is Denmark that will stand on top of the podium here in Drammen, ahead of Sweden and Norway. More Nations Cups to come. 3 more, in fact, over the next day and a half. We'll look to the next of them here on this fabulous Friday at 4:30 this afternoon. Sorry, correct myself, 3:30 this afternoon. Local time here, and we'll look forward to rejoining you live wherever you're tuning in. We've got the Junior Nations Cup coming up, and then later today at 6 we've got the Young Riders. Tomorrow we'll bring you live coverage, of course, of the other category that is with us, and that will be the children. So all that to enjoy, and we'll bring you more a little later.
Og vinnerne av Nations Cupen, det ble da Danmark, andreplass Sverige og tredjeplass Norge. The winners of the Nations Cup were Denmark, second place Sweden, and third Norway. And the winners of the Nation Cup were Denmark by Laura Sarget, Palma Sofie Gry Jansson Christensen, Malumi Son Henriksen, and Olivia Dessler. Congratulations. And we all rise for the Danish national anthem. Second place goes to Sweden with Tuvali Omberg, Svea Eriksson Stoblis, Viggo Bergstrand, and Nika Sundström. Congratulations! And third place goes to Norway with Julie Ørbrodskaj, Linnea Ovidia Aamodt Fossnes, Andrea Sevdi Christiansen, and Josefine Marie Haukland. Congratulations! We congratulate all the riders, thank our jury president and the audience, and we'll have a lap of honor.